didn't say pick up the whole fish, pick up the untouched lobes, scraps. Do you know what a scrap is? You don't know what a scrap is? It's a third of a piece of bread, a half a piece of bread. You know how kids eat bread? Pick up the scraps, the Lord said. And they filled 12 baskets. Do you know, my friends, this is one point of holiness we miss completely. Why? For the simple reason that we don't count the little things in our life as a point of holiness. See? Tiny little things. Things that you do every day that are small and irritating. Irritating. Waiting for doctors, waiting for dentists. A tire blows out when you're in a hurry and you got to pull off the highway and nobody pays any attention to you. Even getting out of bed in the morning. Some people are night people, some people are morning people. Some people don't wake up till about 6 p.m. And they're raring to go. You woke up at 4. See, there's little things. Going to a restaurant and the soup tastes terrible. So you eat it. Going for a picnic and it rains. Little things. And you see, the problem is we don't keep our eyes on Jesus. We don't keep our eyes on Jesus. See, that's what happened to these apostles. I want to just read you the rest of this little thing because you're going to see yourself more and more. These were praying men. These were men who were next to Jesus, his physical body, for 3 years. And they had all of these little irritating things that happened to them. And they happened to you. They're occasions, they're opportunities. They're not time for impatience, lack of compassion, or anything else. Here, so they finally left. He made his disciples get into a boat and go ahead of him. Why, he could see they're at a breaking point. See? So he said, look, you go on the boat, you go on the other side, I'll meet you there. I'll dismiss the crowd. They had it. All right? After saying goodbye, he went to the hills to pray. When evening came, a boat was far out in the lake, and he was alone on the land. So here's the apostles, and there's Jesus way up here. He could see. Now, I want you to hear this. The woman who just wrote has the opinion, I think, or feeling more, that Jesus doesn't see her plight, that Jesus doesn't care. But that's not true. Listen what happened. He could see they were worn out with rowing, and the wind was against them. And about the 4th watch, did you imagine he'd watched there from the top of a hill and watch them row against the wind till the 4th watch? So obviously, there's something very good for us when he doesn't answer, but he still looks, he still sees, he still knows. Well, so he came towards them walking on the lake. He was going to pass them by. Here's another point of holiness. When you get disheartened and you get discouraged, When you think like this dear woman that God has not heard your prayer or God is angry with you, call out to him. He pretended he was going to pass them by. And all this storm and rain and the boat was sinking. They were going in circles. He pretended. Why? He wanted them to say. They cried out to him, terrified. Lord, save us. And then he said, courage, it is I. Do not be afraid. Now, you see, but this dear lady, and all of you there, all of you here, when it looks like our Lord is not listening, he's listening. When it looks like he is not seeing, he is seeing. And it looks like he's trying to pass you by, he isn't. He wants you to cry out, Lord, help me. Save me. And he said, courage, it is I, do not be afraid. You must recall these words when things get so tough and so impossible to bear. He sees you. Pray, call out to him, and you will hear, do not be afraid. It is I, have courage. Now, this is what's so important for you and I. He got into the boat with them, and the wind dropped. They were dumbfounded. Now, why were they frightened? Why were they dumbfounded? Why were they afraid? Here's the answer for them, for you and me. They were dumbfounded and afraid, and they lost courage because they had not seen what the miracle of the loaves meant. Their minds were closed. What closed the minds of the apostles to the miracle of the loaves? They were agitated about themselves. They were hungry. They were tired of the crowds. They ceased to keep their eyes on Jesus. Their eyes were on each other. Their eyes were on the crowd. Their eyes were on the people. They had already worked 24 hours, and now they're at it again. See what happened? Don't we all do that? Huh? Don't we all just look at what's wrong and look at what's all the horrible things? We take our eyes off of Jesus. And even on that lake, even on the lake, they couldn't believe it. He was walking on the water. They had not seen what the miracle meant, and their minds were closed. If you and I do not become holy, it will not be because we didn't have all the opportunities, all the time. We had time to pray, we had time to accept our crosses and make our sacrifices. If we don't become holy, it's because the distractions of the world, the politics, the politicians, the trials, the problems in our family, the problems around us, we're just like the apostles. That's what occupies our mind 24 hours a day. We go to bed with it and we wake up with it. They fail to see Jesus. Their minds were closed. And our Lord says that very thing about the last day. And they will come to me and say, when did we see thee? hungry and cold. When we did not feed thee, when was it that we did not clothe you? And he said, I will say to them, when you did it to the least of these, you did it to me. Their eyes were closed. They could not see the image of Jesus in their neighbor. Well, we're going for a little break so I can drink some good cold water, and then we'll be back in just a minute with your phone calls. Hello?
Hello, Mother Angelica.
Yeah, where are you from?
I'm from Racine, Wisconsin.
And what is your question?
I would like you to pray for my